Hey guys, welcome to ENZYMENTAL. Before we begin, hit that subscribe button below and click the bell so you don't miss any notifications. And today I wanted to show you how chronic insomnia affects blood sugar. Our body consumes the least glucose during REM sleep, or rapid eye movement sleep, and the most glucose when we're awake. Insulin resistance is closely linked with sleep deprivation. And irregular sleep is certainly a factor in weight gain, as an exhausted person is likely to eat far more than someone with adequate rest. When insulin behaves normally, this fat-storing growth hormone directs cells to utilize glucose in the bloodstream for energy. When blood sugar levels are too high, due to a chronically sedentary lifestyle and too much sugar and refined carbs, the pancreas will begin overproducing insulin, and our cells will actually stop responding to the insulin. So when we sleep, insulin normally modulates the surge of glucose that typically occurs during the night. Insufficient sleep, or as with insomnia, a total lack of sleep, disrupts insulin and glucose. A consistent lack of sleep and the insulin resistance that comes with it slows cellular metabolism while also increasing insulin resistance in the cells. This is the same kind of insulin resistance seen in obesity and diabetes. Insufficient sleep over a prolonged period of time results in a lower amount of insulin produced after eating, while cortisol and other stress hormones are released much more. And as a reminder, when cortisol is present in the blood, cortisol's job is to keep all the available glucose in the bloodstream for immediate use. Insulin, by contrast, wants to deposit the glucose in the cells, and this then leads to an elevation of both insulin and cortisol. Consistently elevated levels of insulin in the blood drive continued weight gain, especially in the abdomen, and obviously, insulin resistance. Stress hormones like cortisol are designed to keep us from sleeping. One major reason you wake up in the morning is a natural elevation of cortisol, but if you have too much cortisol just before going to bed, you won't sleep at all. If you eat foods that are excessively high in sugar and refined carbs just before going to bed, these foods can impair your ability to sleep. Insulin will clear nutrients from the bloodstream, and this usually makes us feel sleepy, which you might think initially is helpful because you very likely will fall asleep when this happens, but this reduction in blood sugar is in addition to the blood sugar drop that already happens when we sleep. The adrenal glands will then release adrenaline and cortisol to raise the blood sugar to its proper level, and these stress hormones can then wake you up and keep you awake. So what is the solution here? Obviously, you don't want to be eating too close to bedtime, and especially try to avoid any kind of fast food or otherwise processed food. Taking a pancreatic enzyme preparation, which is often known as pancreatin, just before bed can actually help. Pancreatin is comprised of the three primary pancreatic enzymes, protease, lipase, and amylase, and pancreatin is always animal-sourced, usually from pigs or cows. Taking pancreatin just before bed means your pancreas doesn't need to work nearly as hard, and this greatly facilitates sleep. If you're already taking other supplements like melatonin at bedtime, then try taking pancreatin with your last meal of the day and/or about an hour before bedtime. The bitter Ayurvedic herb Gymnema sylvestre, known very appropriately as the sugar destroyer, contains a compound called gymnemic acid, and the gymnemic acid molecule is similar in shape to glucose, and this is how gymnemic acid occupies cell receptors in the lining of the intestines, which then prevents the uptake of sugar molecules. Gymnema can balance both blood glucose and insulin levels, while also supporting the growth of the pancreatic beta cells that manufacture and release insulin. Gymnema's balancing of both blood glucose and insulin typically manifests as a sustained feeling of satiety. In other words, with Gymnema, you'll often feel comfortably full for several hours. Just imagine what this balancing can also do for your cortisol levels, especially if taken in conjunction with magnesium, which itself is supportive of both balanced cortisol and blood sugar. If you want to try Gymnema, try taking around 2,000 to 4,000 milligrams at bedtime 5 nights each week. I've dealt with insomnia for many years, and I know that one reason for my insomnia is the overwork and damage that all my years as a sugar addict imposed on my battered pancreas. So if you're currently battling any degree of insomnia, then you definitely want to look at how what you're eating every day and every night could be contributing to it. Thanks for watching. I'm Jason Carter, and I'll see you next time on ENZYMENTAL. Stay healthy.